Good evening, grade 8 math class. How's everybody doing? Another happy birthday to Dallas out there on the Wednesday night. Anyway, I'm looking to just try this Screencastify. It worked for the grade 9s, and I'll try and work through it here with you guys and girls in grade 8. So I want to go through it fairly quickly so it's not too long. Hopefully around 10 minutes if we can at most. So the first question we're going to work through is solving with rate, ratio, and proportion. And hopefully remember what those items look like. And this one, it says Maria has 116 points in 8 games. So again, when you're doing unit rate, you're going to put down your total points over the smaller number. It's always easiest to convert that into how many would she average per game. And when you divide 8 into this, you'll find you'll get 14.5 points per game, so that if she keeps on this pace and she scores 25, then you gotta ask yourself, how do you go from 1 to 25? You multiply by 25 to get there. You multiply here, and part of this question I didn't like is that it comes out to 362.5 points in total. So that ratio doesn't necessarily work, but it'll get you the correct one in this one. So the Department of Ed messed this one up. 362.5, you can't score a half a point in a basketball game. On to the next question. In this one, we're going to be dividing fractions. And the first step in dividing fractions is to remember to turn them into, this one is a mixed, is to turn them into improper. So hopefully you remember that. 8 times 1, 8 plus 3 is 11. Keep your divided by sign for 1, division for 1 more step. 4 times 1, 4 plus 3 is 7 over 4. When you divide fractions, very difficult to do because you're taking this amount and dividing. So it's much easier to do multiplication, which is your KFC, your keep, flip the sign, keep, flip, and change. So now you've got 44 over 56. And you go over here to find an answer. It's not there. Well, you know that's not more than 1. Get rid of that one. You know it's not 2 because it's a lower fraction. And it certainly cannot be a half because I know that it'd be 44 over 88. So when you reduce it, you'll find out that 4 will go in here and in here to leave you with the 11 over 14. For question number 3, and you can see the amount of work that I kind of showed for number 3. There was a lot of work to this one. So I'll condense that a little bit. And order of operations, of course, is key. I have a division. So there's 2 ways to do this. You might find it easier to go this way to start and just do your positive numbers. So in this, you have 7 over 8. Subtract, and when you punch that one in, I'm not going to go through all the steps, but it turns into 3 over 4, the steps we covered in question 2. So it's 7 over 8, subtract 3/4 plus 1/4. So in order to add or subtract now, you would do subtract next and turn these into common denominators so that everything will be, hope you can see, everything will be 8 on the bottom. Going to be your common denominator. Your 7 doesn't change. You doubled 4 to 8, double 3 is 6. Doubled 4 to 8, double 1 to get 2. 7 subtract 6 is 1, plus 2 gives you your 3/8. Question number 4, we're looking at integers. And right off the bat, I hope you didn't forget order of operations. And in this, you've got your multiply first, then the division, and then your addition. So let's do this one first. So 15 doesn't change. Your plus sign will stay. 5 times 10 is 50. I hope you remember a negative and a negative. Same sign turns to a positive, so I'm just going to write 50 divided by 2, or 25, sorry. And I said 2 because 50 divided by 25 will get you your 2. And without showing that final step, 17. Question number 5. Again, dividing and multiplying integers, you got to remember your order of operation. This would be first. This will be second. This will be third, remembering that addition or subtraction in the order from left to right. So again, it depends upon how you want to handle this one. So let's do this one a little bit differently and consider this to be a question inside these brackets. And I created those brackets because my first step is this one. So in this one I have 20 and I have a -4 divided by -4. And that'll turn into, and I added the plus because it's automatically going to be a +1, negative and negative, plus -3, and I said this would be the next step. And it turned, you notice it turned from a negative to a positive. That's because of these two negatives dividing. It gets rid of the negatives. So 21 plus -3. And remembering, of course, that if it's 21 plus 3, that would be 24. But it's almost like subtracting. So you're going to 21 take away 3 or add a -3, and 18 is your answer on that one. Okay, solving equations. So you could model that one if you wanted to. It'd be a difficult one to model. But in this one, remember, you got to start with the ones, you got to isolate your x, get the x by itself. The easiest way to do it to start, you want to get rid of your negative or +3. And to get rid of that, you're going to take away 3. And what you do to one side, you got to do to the other. X over 5, the opposite operation here. These will cancel, and that'll turn into 4. This is the same as x divided by 5. So instead of division, you're going to do multiplication. So 5 times on this side. And remember, I think I talked to you guys and girls about putting a dot there is the same as a multiply. And you're going to go 4 times 5. These two cancel. 5 on the top and 5 on the bottom cancel, leaving you with x equals 20. And just to prove it's right, let's go back to the top and insert 20 here. So 20 divided by 5 is 4. 4 plus 3 is your 7, so it's balanced on both sides.